Couple capture on camera what they think is a Bigfoot in North Washington. Mike writes RMSO. I have a picture of Bigfoot, I think. I'd like to send to you. My wife and I were looking at pictures from our British Columbia vacation, and I spotted what may be a Bigfoot. RMSO responds, Hi Mike, what part of British Columbia and how long ago? Mike continues, We went on an Alaskan cruise for a week, then rented an SUV to travel from Seattle, Washington to Langley, British Columbia, Canada. This picture was taken in the northern part of Washington state en route to Canada on June 2nd, 2017. RMSO responds, Thank you for sending the photo. It would be nice if you passed that way again and can remember the photo location so you can take some more pictures for comparison. It could be a Bigfoot-shaped cave or stump, so no way to make any conclusions without some follow-up photos. Thanks again. Wishkah Sasquatch scary family staying in a camp trailer. Travis writes RMSO. My stepfather got a job building a post office or something like that. I can't remember. I was 10 at the time. In Aberdeen, Washington, 1978. So that summer the whole family went up to Aberdeen and we stayed with other families in a makeshift trailer park deep in the woods near a creek. The kids in our group, much older than me, and my little sister built a tree house about a quarter-mile up the creek in the deep, thick woods away from the camp trailer park. My stepfather gave me my first knife, a fold-up old-timer brand pocket knife, and gave me the speech about being safe and how to use it safely. One day, we were all playing in the tree fort and it was getting close to dark, so we all ran back as fast as we could because none of us had a flashlight, and it gets pretty spooky and dark there in the woods. I got back to the trailer and realized I lost my pocket knife. So in a panic, I ran back towards the tree fort, all alone looking for the knife. It was getting pretty dark, but I had to find it. I ran up the creek, jumping from side to side, as you have to do to get to the tree fort. When I seen standing in the creek the giant hairy man, I was frozen. I couldn't move or even say a word. He looked right at me, then turned away and walked into the woods. He was massive and tall and stank like a dead animal. I got the courage up and ran back at the speed of light, just a blur of little skinny legs flying. I ran inside the trailer and told my older brother, and he just laughed at me, then handed me my lost knife. He said he found it right outside of the trailer on the ground. That night around 2 a.m., we all heard loud noises outside the trailer. It woke up everyone. My mom, my stepdad said, Stay inside the trailer, it's probably a bear. There were bears all over the place where we lived. I seen them daily. All of a sudden, the whole trailer started to rock to that point. I thought it was going to flip over. The trailer was 35 feet long and still on its wheels from moving it there. I got my feet under me and looked out the window where the noise was, and there he was again. I could only see his chest through the window. He was tall, and I mean real tall, maybe 9 feet. Well, it only lasted a minute, and everyone in the camp was outside standing around due to the noise. But I was the only one who seen it again. I didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't want to be embarrassed. I never went to the tree fort again, not even in daylight, and that summer ended and we headed home to Eureka, California. Never seen another Bigfoot again, and happy I never do. Thanks again for all your hard work. RMSO asks, were you able to tell if the one you saw out in the window was the same one you saw in the creek? Just wondering, because these creatures seem to travel in pairs or more. Travis continues, that was forever ago. That was over 40 years ago, plus I was so scared I couldn't have known anyway. What I do know is the trailer on wheels had its window sash at 5 feet from the ground. I could only see his chest, so I'm guessing he was at least 8 to 9 feet tall. Omak Sasquatch surprises 2 swimmers near Tai River. James K. writes RMSO. I had an encounter, never told anyone for fear of judgment and ridicule. I know what I saw. I was there. Cascade Mountains, 2015. I was on Highway 2 heading east on my way to Omak, Washington. It was a super hot, sunny day later in the evening. My car had no air conditioning, so me and my buddy decided to pull off the road and jump into the river to cool off a bit. We were just outside of Sultan, not quite to Stevens Pass, found a little spot, and went for a swim. It was a secluded little spot just off the road where you couldn't see it from the road, but I remembered it from when I was a kid. Anyway, we were on the other side of the river climbing out of the water, getting ready to swim back to the other side and move on. I got out of the water and heard something in the bushes. It's standing there staring at us. I think he was as surprised to see us as we were surprised to see him. He was probably 25 feet away, right there, partially behind some brush, just behind the tree line that bordered the riverbank. I froze, as did my buddy Travis. The creature simply turned and bounded off into the forest effortlessly. He didn't do anything threatening. He actually looked surprised. And as soon as he was there, he was gone with a few strides and disappeared into the forest. It happened so fast, it's hard to say how big the creature was. I would only say between 7 and 10 feet tall and easily 500 pounds or better. I came away from this experience shocked and full of disbelief, as did Travis. But we never felt threatened at any point. He was just like a chance encounter. It's really hard to explain, kind of like you had to be there to understand. I was there, and I don't fully understand, but I know what I saw, and Travis knows what he saw too. So that's my story of my encounter. I hadn't had a friend with me who saw exactly what I saw. I might think I was going crazy, but it is what it is, and looking back, I'm really kind of grateful. It was scary and exhilarating at the same time. RMSO responds, "What color was the creature? It looks surprised. Can you explain the face features or eyes?" James continues, "It was kind of reddish brown, I guess. The face just looked like an unkempt beard, kind of super long hair matted up. His eyes were wide, like we were surprised, and he was surprised. He turned and started off into the brush. He ran on two legs, so it wasn't a bear. It's really hard to describe features. My heart was pounding. We got on the river maybe 40 yards upstream from where we had got out and saw him floating down, so I guess we sort of snuck up on him in a sense. We went his way, and we went ours and swam across the river to hightail it to our car." The number one reported Bigfoot sighting location in the world is Washington State. And one of the top locations for reported Sasquatch sightings in Washington State is the Olympic Forest and Peninsula. Because of this, our team has been on several expeditions into high-volume Bigfoot encounter locations in Washington to search for the creature and look for evidence. Here are some of the reports we received from the area that helped motivate our search. Frightened Rottweiler whines alerting couple to an Olympic Sasquatch. Joseph S. writes RMSO, "Hi. Before I start, I just wanted to say that I just discovered your organization and I think my sighting will be interesting to you. It was 2016. I was walking on a trail in the Olympic National Park with my girlfriend and our dog, which is a female Rottweiler named Tina. As we finished walking, we were returning using a shortcut trail. We were talking for a time and Tina started to whine. She's a big dog and she normally growls when there's another dog or animal in our way. But she was whining and walking behind my girlfriend's legs, when she is normally in front and on guard. We were confused and we started to observe our surroundings with more attention. Just 50 feet away from us, we spotted something big and orange moving and crossing the trail. It looked like a big man with orange, shaggy hair head to toe, jet black skin, a skull shaped like a cross between a gorilla and a human, and the face was weird. Looked like a human face with inconsistent proportions. The mouth was too wide, the ears were too small, and the forehead was too arched forward, making it look like a big monobrow. The nose was flat but still human-looking, and the eyes were dark. We couldn't see any white in its eyes. We were scared because of the size, by the distance and how slow it was moving. I could measure it to be around 8 to 10 feet tall. The shoulder width and musculature were massive, and it was carrying something in its left arm, a black carcass with blood. We couldn't tell what dead animal he was holding, but looked big and he was carrying it like a person carries a rabbit. Tina whimpered again, and he looked at us. It was so fast I didn't have time to react, and my girlfriend was covering her mouth, probably not to let out a scream. The man had a surprised expression on the face and just stood there for like 5 seconds looking at us, and he just turned around and ran. Went from slow walking to a sprint in an instant. We exited the park after an hour walking fast on that trail. I heard stories about Sasquatch since I was a kid, and I think me and my girlfriend saw one that day." RMSO responds, "Appreciate the in-depth details of the creature you wrote to us. We found a lot of Bigfoot evidence during an expedition to Olympic Forest. Olympic Peninsula is supposed to be the #1 Bigfoot sighting hotspot in the world. Joseph continues, I'm glad you answered. I just want to say that our Rottweiler Tina used to be fearless, barked and growled even to bears. After that occurrence in 2016, she became cowardly towards almost everything, people, other dogs, animals. We took her to the vet, and the vet said that she developed some kind of a traumatic disorder. The vet asked me about anything that could have happened, and I told him about our encounter in the Olympic Forest. Of course, I didn't mention Bigfoot. I just said we saw a big animal in the woods, and the vet said, must have been a very big thing then, to damage her head like that. Well, at least I got that off my chest. Thank you. We really appreciate hearing about your sighting report. It's an amazing place with a lot of sightings. We have a friend that lives out there that records vocalizations, 1 or 2 a year, it seems like, on their property in the Olympic Forest or near the Olympic Forest. Just an amazing place. We have found some amazing footprints out there, a butt print, a knuckle print, a hand print. We just love going into that area. Exciting to hear about your report. This will motivate more research into that area. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching.
Yeah, there's one that got snapped off another foot higher than the one that you were just pointing out.
These are some pretty tall ones to reach that high.